Good morning. Welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Now, this really hasn't changed, but it changed a bit. 7.8 time in range, 7.8 is current glucose. The correction values are starting to wane. The basal rate is in pink and it can fluctuate. But all in all, throughout the night, I had a few spikes since 10 o'clock, but it's come down. Now, the true story of what's going on here can be seen in these numbers. 66% time in range. Remember, we want 70. And this is just a snapshot of the last 24 hours. If I pull up my month, we'll see a different. Maybe one of these videos I'll just pull out a month and see how they differ. 34% was above, 66% in range, and we noticed my average blood sugar was up. This is very interesting. But we get up every day, we see the results we've got, and we move on. Today, I want to discuss spiking blood sugars. There are a number of sites that you can take a look on YouTube, or I don't know about TikTok, I'm sorry, but where they discuss this. So this is going to be my take and how does it work and why do you get spikes? Stay tuned. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Oh, good early morning. Spiking is very simple. All of a sudden, there's a whole bunch of sugar in your system. It really is just saying your body doesn't have an adequate amount of insulin to work with the blood sugars. Spiking can be an integral part of the roller coaster effect. It's just constant. I've always thought of the railroad effect being a whole bunch of spikes put together. For years, I thought, oh, there's nothing really that can be done with spiking. In my earlier days, I'd order pizza. I would eat pizza, and I would have the pizza for weeks after. While I had the pizza for this week, my blood sugars would spike right up, and it took a long time to be brought back down. So, what do we do? Well, if you have recurring spiking issues, it probably means A, you could not be getting enough insulin to cover it. That's an issue for you and your doctor to discuss. Second of all, spiking is caused by carbs. Carbs break down into simple sugars. And all of a sudden, all these simple sugars are in your body. If there isn't enough insulin present, the the sugar cannot get into the cells to utilize for energy. Because remember our old insulin is the key that opens up the cells. Now, there are many nutritionists out there who believe that eating a low-carb diet will help your spiking. True. If you're having problems with high glucose spikes after you eat, low carb may be the way to go. There's been a big craze, and I'll call it a craze right now, of where people, I don't eat any carbs. Well, that's not necessarily true. What they're saying is they don't eat refined carbs. You eat an orange, it's got carbs in it. You eat breads, it's got a carb in it. Vegetables have carbs in it. You have to remember that carbs are good for the body. Your brain runs on carbs. But you want to stick to complex carbs. Things that don't break down quickly and go into your bloodstream. Excuse me, I got eyelash, that's probably me. Okay. So, if you're eating an awful lot of unrefined or refined foods, I can't speak today, that's gonna possibly raise your blood sugars higher. I believe in a low carb diet. I don't believe in cutting out carbs completely. I don't even believe in that for type 2 diabetics. You can cut down your carbs quite a bit, but your body still needs carbs. Try cutting out your carbs. You'll be eating leafy green vegetables, and that's it. Portion control can help. In my younger years, oh God, I'm surprised I'm still here. But in the other video I taped this morning, I mentioned that carbs were being ingested, and then I would have a lot of sugar. And of course, when I went to the doctor and took a look at my blood sugars, it was, oh, why did this go? I don't know. Until an endo that I trusted called me out on it and said, what have you been eating? Now, insulin is not the only contributing factor to bring down a spike. If you've had a high carb meal, get out and go for a walk, go run, ride a stationary bike, play soccer. Activity will help bring your blood sugar down. But the problem, it's not really a problem with doing that, is a lot of times you don't feel like doing that. I know I never did. I was on my feet for 8 hours a day. And when I came home, I just wanted to watch TV. But I should have got out and gone for a walk. There would be times I would go for a walk. Not necessarily after a meal or after a whole bunch of sugars being released in my system. But I do know how exercise brings blood sugar down. I was a scout leader or cub leader for many years, and we'd go swimming. And as such, I would always have an insulin reaction. Well, part of that was I wasn't prepared. That was the time I needed to eat more carbs and work it off in the pool. So, insulin, exercise can help bring down your spikes. But not having your spikes in the first place is probably the best way to go. We're lucky nowadays we have carb reduced this, carb reduced that. If you're going to eat carbs, eat complex carbs. Now, what are complex versus simple? Simple carbs are single strands of carbohydrates. Complex carbs they're joined with other strands. and that your body takes a while to break them down. Thus, the sugars stay relatively straight. There are a number of nutritionists on YouTube which can explain this better. Now, for myself, I would have a whole bunch of carbs. Every so often, I just want to have the bag of chips. Gee, I don't know why my blood sugar went up. Because it couldn't be the big bag of chips you just ate. So, where do you go from here? Out of the big three people you should see, the dietitian is usually the one most forgotten. You need to see a dietitian to talk to you about how to bring down your carbs. Low carbs work, zero carbs don't, because you're going to end up being hungry and you're going to eat. If you're anything like me, that's exactly what's going to happen. Today, I watch what I eat. I'm getting better numbers. It went through some growing pains to get me down here. I had issues in the early 2013, where I was having problems with lows. It was the opposite to spikes. And in the hospital, I was told to eat carbs. Eat more carbs, Mike. It finally broke. But you never know how carbs will affect you. Now, is spiking really that bad? It'll eventually go down. Well, anytime your blood sugar is out of 3.9 to 10, that's not a good thing. Spiking is considered to be, and remember, this is the imperial system. Your blood sugars will go up after you have carbs in meals. Insulin and exercise can bring it down. Processed carbohydrates like chips, candies, cakes, cookies can be fine in moderation, but you don't want them as part of your everyday diet. Yeah, they're nice, they're easy, I can grab them, but you're going to have problems with glucose spikes. If you're on an insulin pump, you can try different patterns of insulin to help lessen the spike. But again, talk to your doctor before utilizing this. Don't just say, oh, I'm going to have a high carb diet and give yourself a whole bunch of extra insulin. And And then you find the spike really isn't there because of the different carbs you ate. Spiking is an issue that we all need to watch. For a while, if you're having an issue with spiking, you should occasionally do a blood sugar 2 hours after you eat and see how high you go. In the perfect world, with the perfect pumps and everything, you don't want to go higher than 10. Anything more than that, you're going to open yourself up to complications. One spike isn't going to do that. But if you have a recurring spike, then your mean blood sugar, which is the average blood sugar, increases and it goes higher. It's very easy for these spikes all of a sudden just kind of merge into one big spike. Trust me. And with that, I'm going to leave it with this. Speak to your doctor if you're having issues with spiking. Remember, one spike doesn't institute a problem. If it's recurring, then we need to take a look at your diet, your exercise. Sorry, I had a night nurse in here. But eating lower carbs can help spikes. I don't know where it was, but no carb diets are not the greatest. Lower carbs, and I think that's less than 30 grams of carbs per meal. 60, I've got a system that works for me. Doesn't mean it'll necessarily work for you. Talk to your doctor, talk to your dietitian. If you don't have a dietitian, if you go to any sort of clinic, they can hook you up. Your family doctor can hook you up. Many health units have dietitians that are available. Sit down, talk to them. Be truthful of what you eat. If you're eating a whole bunch of crap and potato chips with your meals, and be open about it. That's the best way to find and get results. With that, have a super day and take care. Bye now. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.